In business, there's no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. When you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. From the moment your package is first scanned in, it moves through a secure nationwide network, aiding in a timely and accurate delivery. You get near real-time tracking so you can keep up with your shipments. And with affordable upfront pricing, there are no hidden fees or surprise surcharges to throw off your cost sheets. It all adds up to predictable deliveries you can depend on. Because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else: your customers, your team, and the future you're building. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS, official shipping sponsor of the NHL.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. We are live in downtown Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino as always. 3-hour show lined up today on the program. Jonathan Davis in studio. He's in town for the Golden Knights and the Anaheim Ducks tonight, Game 5. He'll join us in 30 minutes, talk best bets in the National Hockey League. 2 huge games in that sport tonight. John Hasselbauer on the program in 90 minutes. We'll analyze the PGA Championship. And Derek Stevens in studio, owner, CEO of this great property, a little bit later on. We'll get into the schedule, the leaks that we have so far in the NFL, and where we're at with the contest and when they're going to announce everything here for Circa Survivor and everything beyond that, Paulie. Well, was that it for LeBron last night? Is that going to do it?
I hope not. He can't go out that way. He had a great close to the season. He was awesome against the Rockets. He was good in this series. They didn't have enough manpower here and firepower. I think he'll retire a Laker. I'm going to stick to it. I think the odds are crazy. I don't think Cleveland's going to happen. Golden State would worry me. You know, Pelinka's saying all the right things after the game, that they'd love to have him back. You know what Jeannie Buss said when that article on the Buss family, but how much power does she have? Still has a piece of the Lakers, but sold most of it. But I think that he has to retire a Laker, and I hope these two sides can come to an agreement, and he has another year left in him.
I'm sure some national sports books are going to post up LeBron's future odds. No doubt prediction markets have it. Offshore books do as well. I'll give you one set of numbers here that we're looking at. If he is going to retire, the yes is actually plus 275. The no is minus 450. So the numbers would agree with you that he would be coming back. Now, will he go back and return to the Lakers next year? The no is actually minus 150. The yes on that is plus 110. And then his next team odds, the Cavaliers are even money.
That's crazy.
Then Golden State 3-1, Denver 5-1. Could the Nuggets actually pull something like this off? I don't think they have it in them.
No.
The Knicks are 7-1. Stephen A. Smith said that's the number one team for him. And the Bucks are 9-1. Did you see that today?
What?
Stephen A. Yeah, the pecking order for LeBron James, number one, the New York Knicks.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Come on. You're not doing anything if you go to the finals.
No, of course not. You're not going to touch the team.
They've been on fire. So Golden State, I think, should be the favorite, and that would be the team that would concern me there, that they're going to try to run this back and maybe add another piece as well. But he averaged 23, 7 and 6 in the playoffs, 27 and 6 for the season, and had a good series against OKC. Also did a great job, as he wasn't used to being the third option when there was a little bit trouble there when they had the bad numbers because he didn't know how to be the third option. But then they had that 15-2 run. Then everyone got hurt. But still, they pulled a massive upset against the Rockets, just overpowered here against the Thunder. And I think that's a pretty good team next year. You're going to get a healthy Reeves, a healthy Luka, LeBron. And it's interesting. I know you sent this off as well. I don't know how good the source is, but that Luka is saying, don't trade Reeves for Giannis, and I like Reeves. But if you do that, you have to add some defensive help because of the issues they have. They're scoring machines, but you need a little help defensively. And, what happens to Ayton, some of these other guys, too? And can they get Watson from Denver, who's up, and he's a clutch guy, too? That'd be awesome if they could get a guy like Watson.
Well, I will say this about that game last night. That fourth quarter was absolutely sensational. The shot making back and forth was absolutely lights out.
Yeah.
And I have one big regret, and that is I only bet during this hot streak for Rui Hachimura. I only bet him once.
Yep.
I want more games now with the Lakers so we can keep betting Rui.
He's a good player.
Finally.
Yeah.
I mean, he went.
I know.
When I watched him play and I had massive futures on Gonzaga in 2019 to win the title, I thought they were the best team in college basketball before they lost to Texas Tech. I watched that kid a lot. They beat Duke and Maui that year with Zion Williamson. I'm like, Rui is like the second best player in the country or right up there. And I thought he was going to be a stud in the NBA. Well, this version now, like 7 years later, I mean, clearly he can be a major contributor to a really good team.
I'm with you. 12-1 overrun to end the season on his threes. They got to keep him, too. He's a nice player. And the other thing is, what doesn't get enough attention, OKC had all these picks, and OKC did well in the draft, but the player development is off the charts. Here's Mitchell, wide open, bang. McCain gets in there, microwave, automatic score. I mean, what they've done, and that was a big problem for years with the Lakers. I know Coach Storr pointed that out with us like the first time he came on. You would draft these guys, they would be busts, and they'd go out and have good careers.
Sure, somewhere else.
In their next stop, right, and become good scorers. But there's a good future there, and people forget they've had 2 trips to the Western Conference Finals. I know Denver had their number, but in those series, Hachimura played well too. So you had to make the Luka trade. Could it have looked different with Anthony Davis? Is this a different series with Luka? They probably lose in 5 anyways. OKC is too good, but I think they have to keep LeBron, and I think he's going to stay and retire a Laker and do the right thing.
Well, it's too late to talk me out of this because I already made these bets. One would be A.J. Mitchell to be the Western Conference Finals MVP at 100-1.
Yeah.
And the other one would be, I like that one better. I also bet NBA Finals MVP at 200-1. Because at that point, you think Jalen Williams is going to be back if he's not already for the Western Conference Finals. But the kid was unbelievable again last night. And if he plays like he did against the Lakers, that ticket can cash.
No doubt.
So I just need Jalen Williams to potentially miss some more games here in Oklahoma City to keep playing him as much as they have. And if he contributes like that, boy, oh boy.
In the finals, I don't know. But it will be a tough go for him if they face San Antonio. I mean, the Lakers had some bad defensive breakdowns and just leaving guys wide open. But I do like the ticket, though. Very good.
There's also this. Will Oklahoma City go undefeated in the playoffs? 18-1's available. How about the total number of losses in the playoffs by Oklahoma City? I'm seeing 3. You see
there's 3.5 at DraftKings.
DK has 3.5?
We mentioned this when the Phoenix series was underway. It was 5.5. Mama, what a miss that was.
I know.
3.5 under -180 at DraftKings.
So what's the most realistic path there for that to stay under, right? And if they get the Spurs.
I mean, they could beat Spurs can beat them. They could also beat them in 6. And then could the Knicks take them to 6? Then they could win the title, but you still lose. It goes over.
Do you think the Knicks can beat the Thunder in a 7-game series?
I do. The way
Man,
they're
if
playing,
you go back, if you go back 3 weeks, I would have laughed at you, and I think I probably did on the show. I would have said no chance. Now the way that the Knicks are playing, I really can't rule anything out.
No, it's because how they changed the offense. They've dialed it up a notch with the intensity defensively. Bridges has found his game. McBride has been a pleasant surprise. He's been hot. You're going to get OG back. He's been a beast. And Towns, as the playmaker role, has been awesome.
So you want to go over 3 or 3.5 then, thinking that the Spurs could potentially beat them or at least take like 2 games from them? And then if it is the Knicks, New York will probably take at least 2 from them as well? And the over would be the winner there?
Well, you got to get the Spurs, though.
You have to.
I think they take out Minnesota in 5. Or probably sweep.
As do I.
That's the thing.
As do I.
The intriguing prop is also with the Knicks. The Knicks are 6.5. Now, they already have 2 losses. But to me, I think you have to go the over there, though, too, because they are favored no matter what in the next round. I reached out to Jeff Sherman at the Westgate. He'd make them $1.75 against Detroit. They would not have home court. He makes them $3 against the Cavs. They would have home court.
That's right.
The thing that would kill you there, though, is what if they win in 5, which could happen. They're so hot. Because you say, are they going to beat the Thunder? There's 4 losses. Now you're at 6. But what if it's the Spurs, or what if it's a short series in the East, in the Eastern Conference Finals? That's a great prop also up at DK.
Okay, so if you bet the over 6.5, they absolutely, well, first they have to make the finals then. But they also have to lose at least 1 game, you would think, and then you hope they get Oklahoma City and they lose that. Because the Knicks, they can beat the Spurs, yeah?
Yes.
Absolutely they can.
Yes. They had great performances against them.
So
the one in the Garden, they were awesome.
And the tournament out here. And so you would think that Man, you need the Spurs in to probably take 3. It's going to have to go 7 games, unless the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a which way are you leaning, by the way?
Over 6.5 losses.
Imagine if you bet that.
Detroit will give them a tough physical series.
How about if they swept the Eastern Conference Finals and then lose in 4 in a sweep to the Thunder, stays under 6.5?
Uh-huh.
Well, who are they going to be playing, by the way? Are you confident that the Pistons are going to get this done?
Yeah, I'm not. Cavs have to prove it to me, though, now. Finally, for the first time in the playoffs, that looked like the team that was favored to win the East for much of the year. That was a team that lived up to their power rating. When you handicap this stuff, it's difficult about who's going to have a halftime tirade and go off. Mitchell apologized to the team at halftime. He only had 4 points. He said, I'll step up, and then he tied Sleepy Floyd's record, what he did. Now, the 23-0 run to start the second half was incredible. But that's the Cleveland team that's dangerous, and it's not the reason they lost, but boy, Detroit got a vicious whistle. Brutal. And you look at Mitchell shot more free throws than the entire Detroit team. So I think they'll get some calls coming up tomorrow at home. But the Cavs, they're only the 3rd team in history now to start 6-0 at home and 0-5 on the road. Here, the lowest price I've seen, Detroit's $1.30 to win a series.
Okay. How many more games like that are we going to get from James Harden the rest of the way?
I don't know. That's tough.
I'll put it at 1.
You okay?
1.
All right.
You want to go over or under that? I think we'll get 1 more maybe like that. Are we going to get 2? I would not bet on that happening.
Well, that's the Mitchell we have to see, though. I'm not saying he's going to do 40 every game, but being aggressive, attacking the basket, knocking down the threes, and finally getting to the free throw line. Because remember, he complained about that. I don't flop. 15 trips to the line, and they were awesome in that blitzkrieg the first 6 minutes of the third quarter.
Put it this way. The second that you turn on the Cavaliers game, Donovan Mitchell must pop off the screen as the best player for Cleveland and basically the best player on the court.
Yes.
He has to, otherwise they have no chance.
Yep.
Are your Wild done?
I think so. Yeah.
Cooked now after last night?
That was a great performance. Condolences if he had the under. Oh, my God.
That's as bad as it gets.
How does this keep happening?
Well, it's hockey, so.
Five in the third period and 2 empty net goals in the final minute.
Yep.
But all the changes, it was right. The goalie changed, the line changes, everything, the butt end, the 4-minute power, nothing phased them. They were great. They were awesome last night.
How about this? Coming up tonight's playoff action, we'll get into it next year on VSiN. I found a number at 60-1 for something that's already happened in the series.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Best bets here with some analysis. NHL playoffs. Jonathan Davis joins the program now in studio. He's in town for the Golden Knights game tonight against the Ducks, Game 5 here in Las Vegas. Good to see you, JD. How are you?
Doing great. Never a bad time to be here.
I saw this on Twitter last night. As I was watching the game at the same time, and I thought to myself, it's been a long time since Minnesota's done anything here offensively. Turns out somebody tracked it. It was more than 60 minutes in real time without a shot on goal. I can't even wrap my head around that. Are they cooked?
Yeah, they're cooked. They're done. I mean, stick a fork. Like that game 4 was their. I mean, game 3. Look, they played great. They played the game of their lives. I mean, game 4. The fact they were up 1-0 and they were outshot 14-5 in that first period. Like the Avs were like, we're good. Like I never felt Minnesota. But they did fight. I mean, it was 2-2 until it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, you had the over, too. I mean, how lucky are you? It's unbelievable.
The only thing I won last night.
Oh, my God. 5 goals.
I got killed at the blackjack table.
Yeah, okay. No, that's going to happen. 2 empty net goals.
Yes.
To get it. How about all the changes Colorado made, though? I thought that was an overreaction, but everything worked out. I mean, okay, you finally lose a game. You make the goalie change. You messed it with the line, but everything worked out.
I mean, look, I went back and took a look at Wedgwood had started 8 straight games prior to it never started more than 2 in a row when healthy. It was always back and forth.
Never more than 2 in a row.
Yeah. When both goalies were healthy, like he did go through a stretch beginning of the year, started 9 straight, 11 of 12 when Blackwood was injured. But during the season, never more than 2 in a row. So I think, it was very similar to what Minnesota did. I know Paulie and I disagree. I think going to Gustafsson in game 2 was the right move. Wallstedt's been really good in games 3 and 4. He gave up an 8 spot in game 1, and he had started, 7 straight and never started more than 2 in a row. So I'm good with the change.
Okay.
Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Jonathan Davis, NHL senior betting expert right here at VSiN. And now the adjusted series price, Colorado minus 1,800, Minnesota plus 950. And Minnesota, I think earlier today, they're like 30-1 to win the West.
Yeah, not even pizza money.
Not even pizza money?
No. Okay. It's a donation.
Okay, how about the Conn Smythe now? Blackwood and Wedgwood now have the same number. So how do we see Blackwood until he has a bad game, or now what happens?
Sure. I mean, look, they went with 2 goalies. Like, you guys were talking about it yesterday, I think, with Nick Alberga about the fact that, we've seen more 1 goalie than 2 this year.
Uh-huh.
But, look, these teams have gone with 2. So, Conn Smythe, come on. Like, Conn Smythe, the only thing you want to do is Nathan McKinnon.
I was going to say, are we overthinking it? Is it just McKinnon?
Oh, my God. It's McKinnon. And you can still, still a better price to take McKinnon.
Just Colorado or overall? Dobish? We got to throw some
no,
Dobish
no.
in.
I'm saying if you like Colorado, if you like Colorado, you take McKinnon.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Buffalo season on the line. Yeah. Goalie change again. Since game 1 when it was 4-1, it's been all Montreal. Place has been up for grabs, a tremendous atmosphere. They've outscored them 12-3. What happens tonight?
Well, I mean, Buffalo's going to play the desperate game. So can Montreal match the desperate play of Buffalo tonight? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, look, the Canadians won consecutive games for the first time in the playoffs when they won games 2 and 3. We'll see. I mean, look, UPL's numbers aren't great history-wise against Canadians. Goals against average of just around 4. Mm-hmm. He did win his only game against Montreal this year. But, I mean, like right now, Montreal, they look really good. Yeah. But here's the thing. Playoffs. Momentum goes from shift to shift. It doesn't go from game to game. Just look how the Ducks changed things from games, after game 3. Vegas was really good. Game 4, Anaheim was a lot better.
It totally flipped like that.
Yeah.
We'll have a totally different conversation if Buffalo wins this game tonight. They're going back home for game 5.
Yeah, well, game 1, we were like, oh, my God, Buffalo's the beast when they won game 1. We'll have a totally different conversation.
Either or both these teams, in your opinion, can they give Carolina a run for their money?
Both Montreal and Carolina for sure. Because, the one thing with Carolina is that, look, they're 1-12 in their last 3 conference finals. They don't change the way they play. They went through, they had the easiest opponent, and they shouldn't, I'm not punishing them for it. Philadelphia was the easiest team to play in the second round of all the remaining teams. But Montreal and Buffalo both have game changers, and they've both played Carolina well. I just think game changers make a difference for Carolina, who doesn't adjust the way they play.
There's a prop at Bet Online. Carolina total losses 3.5. You got to be kidding me. 3.5 over minus 170. They're beating Carolina now?
Yeah.
I mean, Colorado? Come on.
Right. So empty your bank account on that. Yeah. No, that's a great bet.
I can't believe that. So what are you doing with shots on goal then? You going to go Suzuki?
Well, I'm telling him for sure. I bet Suzuki yesterday over 2.5 at plus 126 was the best number I could find.
Yeah.
I did take a very small bet on him over 3.5 as well.
Okay.
And also your other guy who has scored goals lately as well, Newhook.
Yeah.
How high did you play him with the shots on goal?
I mean, I played him 1.5, just that was straight. And then I put him in a parlay with a bunch of guys. I mean, I went pizza money parlay, 3 shots on goal, and you can retire on this one here. Josh Doan, Newhook, Suzuki, Jacob Trouba, Anaheim, Darlene Buffalo, Dorofeyev, all for 3+ shots on goal, plus 10715.
So more than 100 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay. And they have been like getting all those players.
All of them. And then I did a little smaller one for 2 shots. Doan, Newhook, Trouba, McTavish, Marner, and Dorofeyev.
You're going to tweet all this stuff out as well?
It's in the article.
It's in the article?
Good.
Yeah. Okay. VSiN.com?
Yeah.
Okay. How much is experience going to help Vegas tonight, if any?
It'll help, but I mean, look, they're 8-15 now with Mark Stone out of the lineup. I mean, you can't ignore that number. I thought, though, even with, like, I'm telling you, Paulie, I was sitting in the press box in Anaheim during Game 4. We all thought Vegas was winning that game, even down 3. Like at 3-2 at the end of 2, we're all huddling around. Yeah, this is Vegas's game. They're winning 5-3 tonight. I mean, I thought I liked the way they played. You know, Anaheim, the power play was good.
Finally, though, that's
Yeah.
why you got to be scared. They got the power play going finally.
Sure.
They were 50% against Edmonton and hadn't done anything until that game.
Yeah, but the goals like that Hart may have given up one bad goal. He had a couple. One went off a skate. One went off a stick. I mean, I can't fault him completely.
Better bet, in your opinion, then, would it be the Ducks tonight at a price around plus 137? That's here at Circa, or the Ducks to win the series, which is a much smaller price, believe it or not.
I'll take them just to win tonight. I mean, here's the thing. Like, Vegas is 6-0 in the playoffs when they start a series at home and lead 2-1. Their Game 5 numbers haven't been great. I went and pulled those up. I mean, Game 5 now, they're 5-3 in their last 8 Game 5s. They are 5-0 in their last 5 Game 6s. I mean, but I just like the number. The value's there with Anaheim tonight.
Yeah, I stand corrected, by the way. The series price is right around the same. I was looking at the wrong category there. Right around the same. How far do you think either one of these teams could push Colorado?
Oh, no. Done. I mean,
Minnesota's second best team?
Minnesota's second best.
Okay,
team.
so
yeah,
this
yeah.
will-
Anaheim
yeah.
scored 3 goals in 3 games against the Avs this year. They beat them once. They were outshot 41-16. Okay, and they wanted a shootout. Dostal stood on his head.
I think I remember that game. We talked about it, I think, during win-lose.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
That's going to be
Colorado's-
a big price.
They're a
though.
machine. I mean, they are a machine. And McKinnon, look, Colorado's had all 18 guys that have dressed in this series have scored a goal. No, I'm sorry, or got a point.
Got a
And
point.
I think 14 have a goal.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Just in this series against Minnesota?
Just in this series against Minnesota. Parker Kelly was the last guy
Oh, my
not
God.
to record a point for Colorado in the series, and he scored a goal last night. They had 3 guys that scored their first goal of the series last night with Waugh, Nelson, and Kelly.
Well, what do you think about the penalty in the first period?
The butt end?
Yes.
Oh, no, that was.
Well, it's
I mean,
egregious.
it was egregious. You couldn't give him. I understand why they didn't give him 5. I didn't know that you could give a double minor for butt ending. I'd never seen that before. But Dave Jackson did a good job on the broadcast of explaining it because they couldn't. They knew it was there. It's kind of like the goal that Anaheim scored against Edmonton. You knew it went like that goal. Like you knew it went in, but you couldn't see it. Like so.
I thought Minnesota blew the chances that they had a lot in the first period. Like that game probably should have been minimum 2-0 Wild. That's
Really?
the way it felt to me. Yes, I thought
They
they.
were outshot.
Yeah.
They were.
But during the power play or after?
Well, before and then during it as well.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think Colorado, they've got no Joel Eriksson Ek, and that's a huge loss for them. Now, our man Tarasenko let us down last night. Although I will say, I will come back with him. He only had 1 shot on goal. He had 7 or 8 directed at the net. So it's not that he didn't have his opportunities. So, but Ek's a huge loss for them.
You like to play empty net goal.
Oh, yeah.
It was plus 220 last night?
Plus 220 for Colorado,
Yeah.
250 for Minnesota.
Okay.
The other one, here's a way to play Nathan McKinnon, by the way.
Okay.
He has scored a third period goal in 3 of the 4 games against the Wild and a third period goal in 4 of 5. You can get him, I think it's plus 290 for a third period goal. He's minus 120 for an anytime goal. And and McKinnon's got 2 empty netters. And so I think a third period goal for McKinnon, if you want to play his goal prop, that's one way to attack it.
I haven't even checked the latest numbers for him on the Conn Smythe, though.
Plus 220?
Plus 250.
250?
250, yeah, is the best price that I saw.
Is that a better way to bet them to win the Cup?
Yeah, because they're 135 to win the Cup.
Because how many guys can realistically win on Colorado? It's him.
It's him.
Hang tight. We're going to do win-lose coming up next. I got a question for you about Mitch Marner, rubbing this in your face. And it was all over during the longest run in franchise history. Paulie with the details on that coming up next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Second major of the year is upon us this week. It's the PGA Championship. As we talked about yesterday, so glad that they moved this up to May rather than having that lag between the Masters and the U.S. Open at the end of June like they used to, and this event would be in August. And we head out to the Progressive guest line to get more on this. As John Hasselbauer joins the program now, you can follow him on X. He's at PGA tout. He does weekly articles at lineups.com, and he's the co-host of the Preferred Lines podcast as well. John, thanks for the time today. How are you?
Yeah, pleasure to be on another major week. Happy to be chatting with you guys. Excited for the trip to Philly. I am a Knicks fan too, so New York is having a moment infiltrating Philadelphia, and I'm going to join that crew. Actually, I'm going to be down there this weekend. So I'll be on the grounds Saturday, Sunday. Definitely looking forward to this tournament.
My goodness, did you have any friends in Philadelphia for either Game 3 or Game 4, watching the Knicks take that team apart?
No, I'm smarter than being friends with any Philadelphia fans.
No, Knicks fans.
Oh, Knicks fans, yeah. I mean, listen, we've been deprived our whole lifetime. We haven't had a watchable product since I've been born, so we're relishing.
Sure.
We earned this. We endured Lou Amundsen and Andy Routens and the list goes on. Noah Vonleh. We deserve this. Let us have our moment now.
Good recall.
No kidding. Okay, so as for this week in the track that we're going to see in Pennsylvania, only 2 par 5s. So how rare is that, and what does it mean overall for this week in your opinion?
Yeah, some people call par a social construct. The strokes you tally up at the end of the day are the strokes you tally up, and sometimes they're going to be sometimes a 500 yarder is a par 5 and sometimes it's a par 4, but the course itself is still the same. So when the members play this course, it might be a par 72. When the best in the world play this course in a major, it's a par 70. And what that means is you're going to get a couple long par 4s, maybe 500 yard par 4s that for the members would be a par 5, but for them, it's maybe, you got to scramble for your pars there. All this is done to keep the scoring in check. So, if it was a par 72, guys might be shooting 18 to 20 under par. As a par 70, I'm expecting this to be kind of in that like 12 to 16 under par winning score range.
Okay. Now, what if rain, though, plays a major factor here? Then what are we talking about, in your opinion, for the potential winning score?
Yeah, absolutely. I write a tournament preview usually Saturday or Sunday, a look ahead. And the speculation was, of course, is it or is it not going to rain and how much? There's rain in the forecast, but it seems, almost 50-50 if it's actually going to hit this area of Philadelphia. And what that means is if it's soft and it gets rain, it's going to be very scoreable. It's going to be easier for these guys to point and shoot at flags and make more birdies. If it's firm and fast and dry and it misses, the rain misses them, it's going to be a lot harder to hold these greens. And that's the way that, the golf purists, the guys who designed this course want this to play. They want a firm and fast Aronimink golf club because that's going to make the greens really the star of the show. It's almost like Augusta National. They're big, they're sloping, they're very fast, they're hard to hold. They're going to give these guys some headaches, and it's really going to be about who has the green speeds down and who can avoid the 3 putts. And I think it's going to be a deciding factor in this tournament.
How do you think the live guys will do?
Yeah, not so great the first time around at the Masters, right? I mean, we had high hopes for Jon Rahm and Bryson. Both laid an egg. You got Tyrrell Hatton, who was kind of a factor at the Masters, but not much else to really speak to. A disappointing showing from the live guys last time around. This time, I do like Tyrrell Hatton amongst the live guys. Jon Rahm, I think, has a good chance to bounce back here. It's not my favorite course fit for Bryson because at 73.90 on the scorecard, that's a little shorter as we're used to seeing on the PGA Championship rotation. And with Bryson, you really want those longer courses where he can flex his distance advantage. Without that, I don't think it's the best course fit for Bryson. So he'd be a slight fade for me. And then if you're looking for like a long shot on live, I think Thomas Dietrich is a guy who's getting a little bit of steam. He's strung together a bunch of top 10s on live this year. He finished top 5 at Valhalla 2 years ago. So somebody to keep an eye on if you're looking for maybe a long shot in the live market.
Do previous PGA results from players in the field this week mean anything to you, or is that only if the course is like a fair comp overall?
Yeah, I think you have to definitely reference it. It goes a long way for sure because the atmosphere here is different. It's a major championship. You're sweating it a little bit more. The crowds are there. They tend to pick similar challenging venues, but it will be different from a lot of what we've seen in the past. Again, as I said, 7,400 yards about on the scorecard. That's the shortest we've seen since TPC Harding Park in 2020. So each of the last 5 years, really, we've had really long golf courses that is just going to produce a different type of leaderboard and cater more to the longer hitters. This time around, shorter hitters, I think, have a chance. It's not necessarily like you have to be super accurate, but it's more so to say if you're lacking in distance, I'm not going to write those players off from the get-go, and that probably would be the case at like a Quail Hollow, where we saw last year such a long venue over 7,700 yards. That really catered to the Bombers, but less so this week.
What do you know about the greens and how they're sloped significantly to the point of where it could affect a lot of guys getting in their heads maybe mentally, and what that could mean as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a Donald Ross design. Donald Ross designed Oak Hill, where we had the 2023 PGA Championship, and he designed Pinehurst number 2, where we had the U.S. Open recently as well. So you can look at the putting in those tournaments as a reference point, who putted well there. You know, that's something that I'm taking into account when I'm looking for guys who can contend this week. But it's not that different from what we saw at Augusta National, where you got these firm, fast, bent grass greens, oversized with a lot of contours and undulations. And the difference there is really like if you're stepping over a 20-foot putt, you're going to putt a little bit more defensively than you're going to see on most weeks. So it's kind of like a survive and advance type of situation on these greens, where you're not necessarily going to get super hot with the putter, but green speed and green reading and pace are going to be the skills that you need most here.
Okay. It's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, John Hasselbauer. You can follow him on X at PGA Tout, weekly articles at lineups.com, and also the co-host of the Preferred Lines podcast. So having said all that, then, which golfers caught your attention this week with their price on the odds board, and guys that you want to attack it with?
Yeah, I mean, Scotty Scheffler, definitely a deserving favorite. His odds are a little bit too short for me, and he's somebody who's finished runner-up in each of the last 3 his last 3 starts, and has only 1 win on the PGA Tour season this year. So he's not as intimidating as maybe I should feel about him, but a worthy favorite for me. I see the most value on Cameron Young on the board here at 16-1. I think that's still a great number. He's had a great year already, winning the Players, winning the Cadillac Championship. And he also won his first PGA Tour event about 9 months ago at Sedgefield Country Club, which is also a Donald Ross design that's going to emphasize more accuracy and putting on greens, sort of similar to what we'll see this week. So a lot of things to like about Cam Young. He's in great form. He's a great fit. He hits it long. He keeps it in the fairway. He's been putting lights out. Just a really skilled approach player with both his wedges and his long iron. So if I was betting it today, I would still say Cameron Young feels like the best value at the top of the board. And you're going to want one of these, I would say, top 8 players if you're going to bet it, because there's so many stars in great form at the moment.
So if you're not going to bet Scotty at all to win, and I don't blame you, I mean, at DK right now, plus 380, I never want to be on a guy that low before the tournament starts. But what about even money to finish top 5? That's available right now at FanDuel. Would that pique your interest?
Yeah, I like that. You know, as I said, solo second place in the last 3 weeks. There's no question about his form, and this is the type of venue that really caters to what Scotty Scheffler does best, which is hit your irons from the fairway as close as you can. He's going to be great at that. He's got, a very crafty short game as well if he gets into trouble. So a lot of ways that Scotty can finish top 5 this week. I like that bet.
Let's squeeze these 2 other golfers in here as well. John, we're down to about 90 seconds left. You like Russell Henley as well and Adam Scott this week?
I do, yeah. Russell Henley is a guy who has a great major track record, top 10 finishes in each of the last 3 major starts he's had. And he's been kind of at a disadvantage on all of those courses as being a shorter hitter. This is now a shorter venue for Russell Henley. It's going to allow him to hit more wedge shots, which is the strength of his game. So I have high expectations for Russell Henley. I think he's a gamer. And if you're looking for a long shot, somebody like longer than 70-1, I think Adam Scott is your guy. This is a approach emphasis type of course. You're going to really separate and find your scoring opportunities if you're somebody in complete control of your iron game and your wedges. And that's what Adam Scott is. He leads this field in strokes gained approach for the 2026 season, even better than Scotty Scheffler in that department. So a really good value you can get on a proven veteran there who's really striking it well lately.
Great breakdown. Follow John on X again at PGA Tout. Lineups.com is the website. Quickly here, as a Knicks fan, Paulie and I think that they could beat the Spurs if that's the NBA Finals. Do you think they could beat the Thunder?
Hey, you know what? We did it at the NBA Cup. We beat the Spurs. Can we beat the Thunder? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Listen, I love the Knicks. I'm not a delusional Knicks fan. The Thunder are good. We're gonna have to do something about the flopping. Maybe complain about the flopping in the post-game interviews, like Bickerstaff is doing on the other side in the Eastern Conference Finals. We gotta do something. We gotta play some games because they're a better team than us. But,
Fair answer.
Hope for the best.
Thanks, John. Best of luck this week at the PGA.
Thanks, fellas.
There you go.
you.
He was
Well
on the
done.
Progressive Guest line. Up next, we'll step inside our pizzeria. Telling you, the audience, they're getting more creative by the week. We love it. It's coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Time now for our weekly spot with the owner and the CEO of Circa Las Vegas. Derek Stevens joins us in studio. Good to see you as always. How are you?
All right, good to see you, fellas.
Okay, so more games are getting leaked now for the NFL schedule.
Yep.
That entire bad boy gets dropped on Thursday. So the plan is a week from today, you, Mike Palm, Jeffrey Benson in studio with us announcing all the rules?
That's right.
Okay.
We're going to be ready. I think actually, I would say right now, I think we're ready. We have a pretty good handle on how this is playing out. I bet you we could have released our rule set today, but we want to make sure it's all accurate. There's no curveballs thrown our way, but we'll be ready.
Well, you got to make sure, what are they going to do about that Wednesday night game before Thanksgiving? Are they going to do it or are they not going to do it?
Right. You got a couple of those things. I mean, I think with where we're standing right now, on the Wednesday night game, that we're going to roll in that. We'll have to roll that into Thanksgiving. That's just reasonable to do that. But there could be a couple of other nuances out here.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And then the guarantee gets announced next week, too?
Yeah, we're still trying to figure that out.
What do you mean?
How much money's in the bank? Well, we're shooting that film. We're shooting the commercial all morning today. We got here early. We were here very, very early. Yeah, but with the screen in use, took like 100 takes. We had to put multiple endings out there because it could have been somebody roaming around.
Could have heard it then?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm going to put you in charge. How would you start the season that Wednesday? Seattle at home to who? New England, the Bears, the Chargers? How would you do it?
I think the optimal way would be Seattle at home against the Bears. I think the Bears, bigger market, with all due respect to Boston and Patriots as a national team. But it's either going to be Patriots or the Bears. It's got to be those only two that make sense.
Okay.
But I think with Caleb Williams, I think the element with the Bears having to go there, boy, that'd be a great opener. And then you fire right back with our game coming from down under with the 49ers and the Rams.
Yep.
So pretty good.
Eventually, everybody says, let's hit the fast forward button, get the football season here already. Enough's enough in the summertime.
Absolutely. Aren't you excited about it already?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
the NFL does not mess up. I mean, we're all jacked up about schedule release. I mean, Wilbo's upstairs. He hasn't left his desk here in like a couple days, coming up with all the different patterns. We're all watching the websites. It's a massive impact on our hotel operations here. Something gets leaked. When's the first Raider game coming out?
Sure.
Mark Davis is here having dinner a couple times this week, and I'm going up, butter him up. Hey, let me know.
Butter him up.
No, he doesn't know.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. He does not know. He does not know. And I think there was a thing with McAfee earlier today that McAfee put out something out there that Roger Goodell said it was just an hour ago. This is probably a few hours ago this was posted, that the schedule only got finalized this morning. So it's that tight. Well, look at that. They released the Chiefs Bronco game. They said when it was going to be. They didn't say where.
Yeah, right.
They're still trying to finalize this stuff. It's amazing how it comes down to the wire.
So Friday, we're going to watch Friends and Neighbors on Apple. Great show, season 2. And then we're going to watch...
It is a good show.
It is. It's a great show.
Do
you watch it?
I love it.
John Hamm's great.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Do you watch? How about tell us about Action then on Apple?
Action. That's the movie that was filmed in downtown Vegas. It's kind of a comedic, like thriller, comedy, hijinks. But there's a theft here. and of a big piece of art, and it's filmed in downtown Vegas. So Action gets released on Apple on May 15th, right? Yeah, May 15th. Yeah,
It's a movie or a TV show?
it's a movie.
Okay.
Yeah, we did the movie premiere at Stadium Swim on the screen, but it comes out on Apple on Friday night. So it nicely shows downtown Vegas.
Do you own any artwork? Are you an art guy?
No, I'm not an art guy.
I don't picture you as.
No, I'm not an art guy. I'm not an art
okay.
guy. No, I don't have that level. No, Steve Wynn was an art guy, not me.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So, how about the World Cup? Now, we're going right into this too. We're less than a month away. How you feeling about the World Cup?
I did.
Yeah.
All the soccer balls at the beginning of the entrance.
We got our World Cup wall up. Yeah, they're filming it because they're going to utilize it for some of the cutaways and the segments for different places in America to watch the World Cup. And there's no World Cup game here. Remember, it was like 4 years ago. Las Vegas made the decision not to be a home for a World Cup game because they thought it was going to be a great place to visit, but there were a lot of ramifications that went with the World Cup. I think we've read about like what it's like at the Meadowlands and the requirements they're putting on these cities and other things like that.
Yeah.
And Vegas said, "Hey, we got our ducks in a row. We got Super Bowl. This was still before Super Bowl. We got Super Bowl coming up. We know we're going to land the Final Four. We're going to land the College Football Championship, and we're going to just be a great viewing area for the World Cup." So I think that decision played out pretty nicely so far.
Well, are we going to be the other location outside of Dayton for the expanded March Madness tournament?
We're still working on that.
Okay.
We talked about that. Nothing. Nothing's finalized yet. I'm hoping to get a little more information tonight. I'll be sitting right on the glass. I got a couple of interesting people I'm going with, and
Good job.
I'm working on it.
Good job. How are you feeling tonight? Game 5.
Well, when I was down here this morning, we were minus 150. What's it down to right now? It had to be down after they announced Stones out, right?
No, they're up to minus 165.
Oh, man.
Really?
The Knights are taking money still.
Too much.
You can get
Like
almost.
Paul and I were. It was minus 150, and then they announced Stone. Now we thought he was going to be out anyway, but wow, it's up to 165. No kidding.
Boy, plus 148 on the Ducks looks a little
Yeah.
It's
tasty to
anyone's
me.
series. Yes.
I mean, game 3, Vegas looked unstoppable. Game 4, the Ducks dominated. So, be interesting. Game 5, here we go.
How are you sitting on NHL futures?
Futures.
Colorado with a big win last night, ready to close out Minnesota. Carolina hasn't lost, bee's knees. Montreal trying to go up 3-1. Buffalo, I mean, this is a great story with Buffalo. I'm sure there were
They
big
need it
tickets.
tonight.
Yeah.
It's a great story of Buffalo, but that's what everybody believes because we get beat up. That's the only team we get beat up pretty bad. Conference and Cup is Buffalo. We do pretty well to the rest. The only other outlier is Minnesota Wild to win the Cup. We get beat up there, but I don't think we're in too bad of a shape right there.
Jonathan Davis laughed at the notion of the Wild coming back and beating the Avalanche with us earlier today.
Yeah, okay. There we go. House is in great shape on the Avalanche.
All right, good.
In great shape on the Hurricanes.
What about in the NBA? Do you guys get killed to the Knicks, the Thunder, anything like that?
We're in great shape to the Thunder. Thunder's
I would
our best
imagine.
outcome.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Best outcome is Thunder.
San Antonio might ding you a little bit. I think some big numbers were out there.
I didn't get an update on that one today. I should have brought the update with me.
People bet the Knicks every year, too.
Yeah.
I think the Knicks could do some damage. But, you're right about the Spurs also. Okay. Are you still known? I mean, you mentioned it last week. Mitch was out. The latency on Peacock. Mercy. I mean, this thing's way behind.
It's unbelievable.
I know.
Yeah. You know, all of our data deals, we have to sign the contracts, and it's not really in fine print. It's like big, bold fine print.
Yeah.
That we can never be associated with a courtsider. A courtsider is someone that goes to a game and provides information quickly to either a legal or illegal sports book or a prediction market. And they're paying like $500 a game for courtsiding. I find it very interesting because if you're a legalized sports book, you cannot even associate with a courtsider. It's really amazing the way these contracts are.
How are they allowed in the stadium?
That's my contract. My contract with the base MLB teams. It's the same thing with all the hockey teams. Court siding is no go. So they're very adamant about it. But people are publicly putting out there, hey, we're paying $500 for courtsiders. And it's because of the latency. Yeah. This is brought up because if the latency wasn't that bad, you wouldn't have a market for courtsiders.
Let me ask you this. Is the feed that we get here at the book the same exact time as the feed that you would get at your house?
So streaming is different. The feed I'm going to get on my phone, it's the same thing if we're watching. Let's say we're watching VSiN, we're streaming. We all pull up our phone. We're going up to the bar. We'll all pull up our phone. We're all going to be a little bit different because streaming is different for everyone. So they're all different. But I would certainly say Peacock has been unbelievable about how terrible the latency is.
Have you guys timed it? Is it 90 seconds?
Oh, it's been times it's been like that. I think it has to do. I'm out of my league. I'm sure we've got some tech guys that can explain this to us very quickly, but I'm sure it has to do with the volume and the bandwidth. And somehow something slows down.
Yeah. Well, this is exciting. More games getting announced on a daily basis, the way it seems in the NFL. And a week from today, yourself, Mike Palm, Jeff Benson in to announce everything that we need to know for Circus Contest this year.
We'll be ready.
And you're going to announce the guarantee.
If there's a guarantee.
Thanks, Derek.
All right, guys. See ya.
Appreciate it.
We'll recap our bets from last night and tell you what we've added for today and beyond next in Pocket Plays here on VSiN.